people suffered a tragedy in 9/11. Their loss has left the whole population devastated, but has proven to unite the country as one. The American government has fought a war against terror in order to ensure the safety of their people. What they lacked was an optimal setting in which they could prosecute prisoners from Afghanistan, Iraq, and parts of Africa for war crimes. The government decided that the best plan was to take advantage of the military base they have in Guantanamo, Cuba. According to the New York Times, there are 779 detained people from various nations in Guantanamo, although the grand majority come from Afghanistan. Currently, out of the 779 people who have been detained since the creation of this detention camp, around 164 are still held within the detention facility. In 2006, the Supreme Court rejected the executive's decision to try detainees before military commissions, and in 2009, it also rejected the executive's decisions to close Guantanamo within a year. Due to the government shutdown and the fiscal fights in Congress, the world was blinded from the hunger strike that took place in Guantanamo for a total of 6 months. These people had to be force-fed, which doctors and human rights advocates say violates medical ethics and amounts to torture. Even though there have been declarations that detainees will not retaliate if released to their own governments, our government is still afraid of what the consequences may be if all the prisoners are left released.
Since September 11, 2001, 779 detainees have been held at Guantanamo Bay. Out of 779 detainees, roughly 600 were released without charges, many after being detained for years. The total number of detainees remaining at Guantanamo currently is 164. 84 out of the 164 detainees who the U.S. has approved for transfer to home remain at Guantanamo.
48 detainees have been cleared for release, but they remain held in indefinite detention by the Obama administration.
Since 2002, 8 detainees have died at the base, 6 by reported suicide, 2 as a result of natural causes.
90 of those held at Guantanamo are Yemenis, including one serving a life sentence after being the only detainee convicted by the military commission in the United States. President Obama imposed a moratorium on detainee transfers to Yemen in January of 2010. One Yemeni detainee has been released since then.
So join us on Tuesday, December 10th, which is next Tuesday, in Burlington City Hall to see a talk by David Slade, who is a Vermont lawyer, defense lawyer for Guantanamo detainees.